from Juvela, and today I'm going to be making some Parmesan and poppy seed twists, which are really just posh cheese straws. Now this recipe uses either the Juvela gluten-free white or fibre mix, both of which are multi-purpose flour mixes suitable for all your baking needs. Before you start, preheat your oven to 190 degrees, which is gas mark 5, and ensure all your ingredients are weighed and ready. So in the bowl I've got 100 grams, which is about 4 ounces of the gluten-free white mix. I've then got some xanthan gum, 25 grams each of hard margarine and lard, 1 medium egg, some cold water, and then some parmesan and poppy seeds. Okay, so I'm going to start by making my pastry. So in the bowl I've got 100 grams, which is about 4 ounces of the white mix, and to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of this xanthan gum. Now the xanthan gum really does help to create a really nice crisp and crunchy texture, so do try and use this if you can. Just give that a stir around into the flour mix. I'm then going to start to add my fats. So here I've got 25 grams of each of hard margarine and lard, and it's really important to use hard fats when you're making pastry because the rubbing in stage is really crucial. So the harder and colder your fats are, the better. I'm just then going to just lightly rub those in with my fingertips just until we achieve a coarse breadcrumb. I'm then going to start to add cold water just to bring your dough together to a soft but not sticky dough. So I'm doing this the messy way, getting my hands in, and just move the mixture around the bowl, don't force it together. Just add your water a tablespoon at a time and the mixture will start to form a dough of its own accord. And as you can see, once I've added a couple of tablespoons, it is starting to do that. So I'm just going to pop a little bit more in there just to pick up those last dry ingredients from the bottom of the bowl. And that's always a good indication that you've added sufficient liquid. Okay, so as you can see, the dough's come together, but it's quite crumbly at this stage. So what we're going to do is knead it, and that will completely transform the texture and make it much easier to roll out. So on a surface lightly dusted with some gluten-free mix, just start to knead that pastry dough. And after a minute or two, you will notice it completely change in texture. It becomes much smoother, much more pliable, and much more like traditional pastry to handle. So your pastry is now ready to roll out, so lightly dust your surface once again, and dust your rolling pin as well. And we're going to roll it out into a rectangle about 10 by 20 centimetres. Doesn't have to be an absolute perfect rectangle, so we can just trim the edges off once we've got it to the shape and size we need. So just to neaten your pastry dough, I'm just going to trim each of the edges off just so we've got a nice straight edge, like so. I'm then going to just brush the rectangle with a little bit more of the beaten egg that you've reserved from adding to the pastry, because this will then help the parmesan and poppy seed mixture stick onto the pastry base. And then in the bowl here I've just got a couple of tablespoons of poppy seeds, which I've just mixed with 3 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to generously spoon that over the base and just spread it around, gently pressing that in to the pastry a little bit. Once I've done that, I'm now going to cut my pastry dough into strips, as thin or as thick as you like. It'll make about 12 to 15 pieces. Just do that all the way along. I'm now going to carefully twist each strip in opposite directions, just to create that twist, and pop them onto a baking tray, ready to go into a preheated oven. So say 190 degrees, which is gas mark 5. Okay, so they're now ready to go into the oven. They're just going to take 10 to 15 minutes, just until they're a lovely golden brown. So there you have your gorgeously golden brown twists that are perfect with dips for any party nibbles over the festive period. Even better with a glass or two of fizz. Merry Christmas.